Hello and welcome to this video on spinal cord repair part 2, placenta. What is the relevance of placenta in neurology? Well, neurology is rather complex, and I had trouble learning terminology when I first started off, so I thought I'll introduce newcomers to, in baby steps, some of the advantages that I didn't have. Firstly, what is placenta? It's basically an interface between the mother and a newborn baby, whereby the mother's blood and the baby's blood don't mix, but they go through a sort of an exchange mechanism where waste materials and nutrients are passed between each of the bodies. The immune system, when the moment the baby is formed in the zygote stage, the immune system wants to destroy this thing growing inside the mother because it's not self. So a series of very clever educated cells called T cells, they have a cluster of definition CD4, which gives them the ability to destroy anything in the body, including the self. That's foreign objects and the self. Now, they want to destroy this thing growing inside the mother, but it's protected by this placenta, this interface between the mother and the baby. And during the pregnancy, the mother injects or sends a lot of hormones that dampen this immune system. So virtually there's no droids in here. The next thing we want to talk about is, I'll leave that at that because I think there's enough to learn here at the moment. Just the fact that we have a creature inside the mother protected by an interface that grows there for 9 months. And the next thing we move on to is, I want to introduce you to some out-of-the-box concepts. For example, repairing the spinal cord has been linked to the Manhattan Project of World War II when the nuclear bomb was developed. Billions of dollars were invested in the development of the nuclear Manhattan Project. And today, if the spinal cord was subjected to that sort of regime of repairing the spinal cord, we would have had it repaired 20 years ago. So the question is, why today is not been any development in repairing the spinal cord? And mostly it's because individual groups are all working independently and they're not united. And the next concept is that maybe we got it wrong. Maybe the whole concept of how we've learnt about neurology and the spinal cord is wrong. So these scientists and researchers are just on the wrong path. So I want to start thinking outside the box, and I want you as the viewers to also start thinking outside the box. So, a gruesome thought, number 1. Should the mother eat the placenta after the baby's born? Gruesome. Well, 99% of mammals out there, cats, dogs, cows, they eat the placenta. So, why don't humans? By eating the placenta, there's an exchange of information about the baby. The mother's milk is stimulated accordingly. Postnatal depression may not happen. It's a gruesome thought, but it's an out-of-the-box thought. And that's sort of what I want to think of today. And I want to keep this brief, and let's just sort of leave it at that. And we'll move on to part 3, which will be more detail about neurology and how the spinal cord works and how motor neurons work. So thanks very much for watching this video.